Welcome to the Fright Lab. I'm Lucas Yoakum. Tonight, it is October 6th, the 6th day of spooky season 2025, and tonight we're doing a bite-sized review of a movie I really enjoy, and I wish I had known more about when it came out, much like a lot of movies I'm watching this year, apparently, and that is 2012, The Bay. So what is The Bay? The Bay is a mockumentary-sci fi monster nightmare of a film. It came out kind of on that tail end after stuff like Paranormal Activity had made a really big splash. Movies like Insidious, the kind of more intense side of horror films from that era were really starting to come into their own. The movie was in part produced by Oren Peli, and he was responsible for Paranormal Activity. So that gives you an idea of the power that many people thought this film was going to have. It didn't make quite the, pardon the pun, splash that I think a lot of people had hoped it would, but it did end up finding its way into kind of its own following. Not quite a cult following, I'll say, but it definitely found its own following in the the post-theater kind of streaming world. I think I watched this movie for the first time like 6 or 8 months ago, just kind of on a whim one day, and was just pleasantly really surprised at how good it is. So rewatching it tonight was, well, I don't know that I want to call it a treat. It's a pretty ugly, intense movie in a lot of ways, but I really do enjoy it. So, all right. So the rough plot of The Bay. The Bay proposes to be the assemblage of a bunch of footage after a mass casualty incident along the Chesapeake Bay on the east coast of the United States. This information is all being like compiled and uploaded, quote unquote, to like a whistleblower information clearinghouse website, and kind of assembled as a documentary of sorts to tell the public what really happened. Because after this mass casualty incident, it's covered up in large part and hushed up by the government. This is a pretty familiar idea, this notion of, oh, well, the government covered up this thing, but here's the real proof in the form of this horror movie. I think it's an idea whose time has come in many regards, and you can see how that became a fairly popular plot. But The Bay does it really, really well, and it shows you its hand right off the bat. I mean, even the cover art for the film, like the movie posters, show you kind of what you're actually getting without ever actually showing you. And then the actual film itself does a really, really good job of setting it out really early. Here's the thing that's happening. And then just delivering just constantly. And at a little over 80 minutes, I think it's like an 84, 85 minute film, it uses everything. Webcams, web conferencing, consumer grade video cameras, camera phones, that sort of thing. And it does a really, really good job kind of predicting the ubiquity of reporting, the ubiquity of recording that is constantly going on, everything from surveillance footage to like citizen journalism and even mainstream like television journalism in that regard. Resultingly, I think it also kind of predicts the rise of conspiracies and conspiracism whenever there is an information vacuum. Watching the film, I couldn't help but have a kind of a flashback almost to September of 2001. Those of us who were alive and cognizant during that time period know how incredibly strange of a month that was. And in the absence of not knowing, it's very tempting to try to shoehorn things in to create a helpful narrative for yourself. It's a very normal thing, but also a very scary thing, and the movie does a good job of it. Going back to the pacing of the film for a second, it does something that I really like. So the action starts quick. You kind of are already primed within the first few minutes to know what's going to happen. But it is not one of those like unrelenting onslaught films. It speeds up, it slows down, it relaxes for a few minutes to contextualize something really fucked up you're about to see, and then drops it on you. It's smart and it's science-y, like it kind of does hard and soft sci-fi in a way I don't see very often. But it also plays with body horror and just the elements of disaster, because, you know, disaster films are in their own special way kind of a horror movie, right? And it does it all within this frame of horror cinema verite. Now, longtime fans of the show will know that I have a fascination with what kind of gets broadly painted as found footage, but I don't like that term because it's a kind of a very specific term that gets tossed around a lot of kind of disparate ideas or kind of plays with some ideas in a different way. Rather, I tend to think of it as horror cinema verite. And by that, I mean the way of trying to show you slices of life, either fictionalized or otherwise, in a way that feels very real and very natural and has some reason for being filmed, you know? It is a hard lift in many ways. Horror cinema verite requires, I think, the biggest buy-in from the audience. I think it requires the audience to fully commit to their suspension of disbelief. And if the film and the acting and all of that is not up to it, the whole thing just completely caves in. It has to be upheld constantly. And this movie does an excellent job of it. So this spooky season, should you watch The Bay? It might seem a little out of season to be watching a movie that's set on July 4th, to want to watch that during October, but I don't think that should stop you. The Bay is a smart but scary, gross but interesting kind of horror cinema verite mockumentary thing, and I just don't think it got enough love when it first initially happened. Now, I'm going to kind of say this up front. There is a lot of body horror in it, and the body horror in it, even I found very squicky. So if you're not really on the body horror kick, yeah, leave this one alone. Find something else to watch. There's plenty of good horror out there. But I would definitely say if all of this sounds like it's your jam, it's not going to take all night. You can watch a very good movie in a very short span of time with this one. So, audience, friends, siblings, one and all, what do you think of The Bay? And are there movies similar to The Bay that I should be checking out? Are you going to add this into your rotation? I hope you do, because I'd like for you guys to enjoy this one as well. With that, The Fright Lab is written and researched by me, Lucas Yoakum. Joseph Wren is our super producer, engineer, co-host extraordinaire. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we will talk to you all again very soon. Enjoy your spooky season.